Konnichiwa. What's up, mystery ranchers? Alright, welcome back to another episode. It's 9/11. We're at Bunker 322, Southern Alliance Compound, chilling in the sack tonight. If you watched the first two episodes on our 9/11, we appreciate it. There was a lot of interesting but very insightful information. So I wish MJ1 could be with me tonight, but we have gotten reports that he has been captured by militarized elements of Homeland Security and is currently being taken to a black site. So, but the show must go on. So as you see in the title, we will be priming ourselves on numerology tonight. With the first episode, I think everybody could agree that everything doesn't add up. It looks funny. Got some funny numbers going on. Got some of them funny money. So tonight we're doing an episode that's going to be delving into another aspect of 9/11. So the way I planned on doing this, since MJ1's not here, is right out of the gate I'm going to perform a little move on y'all that old MJ1 and me used to do to the ladies down at the pool hall, and it's called the shocker. So if the following I tell you, you think it's interesting, this episode is for you. So guess what day the Pentagon groundbreaking ceremony was on? September 11th, 1941. Meaning exactly 60 years after the groundbreaking ceremony of the Pentagon, it was attacked. The second plane, United Airlines 175, point of impact was floor 77, okay? The third plane, American Airlines 77, hit the 77-foot tall Pentagon on the 77th meridian west. After taking off at 8:20 and crashing into the Pentagon at 9:37, so that is 40 minutes and 37 minutes, that's 77 minutes in flight. All the while, a U.S. military doomsday plane, an E-4B, that is a command and control center in case of a nuclear attack. It was circling the Pentagon. Its call sign is Venus 77. At the same time, George H. Bush was at a meeting a half a mile away at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Pentagon City, literally right across the interstate from the Pentagon. He was with Osama bin Laden's brother, Shafiq bin Laden, as a part of a meeting with the Carlyle Group. Guess what George H. Bush's aircraft carrier number is? 77. So that's a taste right there. If that sounds interesting, then this episode is for you, my friends. Alright. On top of that, there was something that came out. Another little teaser is it's called PNAC. It's the Project for a New American Century. It had a report in 1998 called Rebuilding America's Defenses, that the policies that they were in favor would have to come slowly in the absence of a catastrophic and catalyzing event like a new Pearl Harbor that thrust us into World War II. Supporters of this project Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, Paul Wolfowitz, and the Bushes, and a lot of other, what you would call neoconservatives. So when was Pearl Harbor? December 7th, 1941. What buildings were hit at the World Trade Center? They went by numbers. It was Building 1, Building 2, Building 3, Building 4, Building 5, 6. So, Building 1, Building 2, and Building 7. So that's 12-7. So, there's something to this. What they say, a coincidence is something that happens once, but a pattern is something that continuously happens. So, what's going on here? Okay. We're going to delve into that. What's the definition of a cult? Back in the 80s, I always heard a cult and I always thought immediately of satanic worship. I immediately associated with evil, and maybe rightfully so. The definition of a cult is just hidden, and it doesn't delve into good or bad. It's just hidden. So, what's a cabal? C-A-B-A-L. It is a group of people who are united in a close design, usually to promote their private views or interest in an ideology, a state, or another community, often by intrigue and usually unbeknownst to those who are outside their group. The name originates from Kabbalah, K-A-B-B-A-L-A-H. That is an ancient and widely practiced mysticism. An essential belief in Kabbalah is called Gematria, G-E-M-A-T-R-I-A. This is a numerological system by which Hebrew letters correspond to numbers. There's 3 different types of Gematria. It's Jewish, which are the Hebrew letters. There's English Gematria, and then there's something called simple Gematria. This was developed by the practitioners of the Kabbalah. Okay? So, what most Western esotericism uses is something that's very common with the Freemason secret society. It's by a dude called Pythagoras. And he's the one that came up with Euclid's, the problem of Euclid. So, it's a square. If anybody's a carpenter, so if I have a measurement of 3, let's just use foot. 3 foot, 4 foot. The distance between right here and right here, that will be 5. So it's 3, 4, 5. And you can use that in anything. Figure out whatever you're building. You can be a vertical, foundational. Okay? So, the significance and power of Gematria is expressed in the foundational text of the Kabbalah. The Sefer Yetzirah, S-E-P-H-E-R-Y-E-T-Z-I-R-A-H. In English, it's called the Book of Formation. It'd be equivalent to a Genesis in the Bible, okay? In its opening paragraph, it states, in reference to God creating the world, God created his universe by 3 forms of expressions: numbers, letters, and words. And going on with the theme of this episode, what was the first thing listed? Numbers. So, this is in line with the Holy Bible, in which God spoke the world into existence over the course of 6 days, with the 7th being a day of rest, a holy day. And so, by the way, the word God, G-O-D. What's the seventh letter of the alphabet? G. The seventh day is the holy day. Hopefully you're as interested in this as I am, because this is something I've never been taught. So let's read a verse from the Bible. Revelations 13:18. This calls for wisdom. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. That number is 666. So anybody that's vaguely familiar with the Bible will actually think, there's a lot of numerical stuff in the Holy Bible. Yeah. Let's move on. All right. These are notes from an awesome podcast. If anybody listens to podcasts, it's called The Truth Hunter. And man, he has awesome episodes. He comes out with some very interesting stuff that I've learned a lot in the past year. So 9/11, okay? There's a lot of people out there that think that this all started in 1968. So April the 4th, 1968, Martin Luther King was assassinated. Exactly 1 year earlier, April 4th, 1967, he did a speech called Beyond Vietnam, A Time to Break the Silence. And it was basically calling out for, we shouldn't be there, we need to move out, we know this is not right. So the June the 6th, Robert Kennedy was killed. John F. Kennedy's brother. In numerology, Pythagoras, as I mentioned earlier, most Western esotericism uses the Pythagorean numerological code. And this form of Western numerology was developed by Pythagoras, a brilliant Greek philosopher and mathematician in the 5th century BC. So, guess what Robert Kennedy's name equals to in the numerical value of the Pythagorean numerological code? It is 66. Robert is 33. Kennedy is 33. That's very interesting. He was killed on 6/6. That's one thing that I need to step in and stay. So with numerological codes like this, if I have a 3-digit number, let's say 1, 2, 3, you can actually add these up. And this is what they believe, okay? This cabal, this hidden nebulous they beyond the curtain that you aren't a part of and I ain't a part of. So 1, 2, and 3, you can actually add these up. So 1 plus 2 is 3, so that's 6. So the numerological value of the 123 is 6, if that makes any sense, okay? So, who assassinated Robert Kennedy? Sirhan Sirhan. Guess what his numerological value is? 66. So, patterns such as these bring new meaning to the old expression, your number is up. So what else happened in 68? The pandemic, Hong Kong flu, coronavirus was first coined in 1968. HIV, its first case was at City Hospital, St. Louis, Missouri. On March the 16th, 1968, 911 emergency phone number was put in place. That's interesting, huh? Okay. Guess what was built or started construction on the complex, the World Trade Center? 1968. So, and I have a side note here, but it's on the 74th meridian west. What's 7 plus 4? That's 11. Okay, so and as I go on through this program, we're going to see a lot of 11s. And we're not going to get into the reason why in this episode, but I want to show the pattern. So, Bush graduated Yale from Skull and Bones. And this is a little insider information, but me and Michael were making fun of secret societies, and that's the reason this bunker is 322, because that's their symbol. Skull and Bones' symbol is skull and crossbones and 322. That's a little side note. So on July the 6th, Bush was born July the 6th, 1946. That means September the 11th, every single year, is his 68th day from his birthday. That's pretty interesting. So 68, 1968, 68, 68. So if the World Trade Center was started in construction in 1968 and they fell down in 2001, that is 33 years. As you're going to come to find, if you're a Freemason, you already know what I'm about to say. But in Freemasonry, there's 33 degrees. 33 being the highest. So 33 is a very esoteric number in the occult. It is a lot of nebulous occult groups use 33 as a mockery of Christ because he died at 33. By the way, he did 33 miracles. There's 33 vertebrae in your spine, with the 33rd being your pineal gland. So there's very many reasons for 33, and this is not going to be delved into in this episode. We're going to look at a lot of, like I said, patterns. So we're going to say, there's got to be something to this. There got to be. That's what I think, anyways. So let's move on. So he goes on to say that the Tell-E vision is the most powerful tool the Cabal has at its disposal. I would agree. Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan, who had very many prominent members. I can't think of the one dude I'm trying to think of off the top of my head, but even he agreed. He's like, most Americans go home and they bow to their altar every night, the television. And Nixon said it best. He said, Americans won't believe anything until they see it on the television. I'd agree, Nixon. So that's why programs are called programs. They're programming you to steer the behavior of people in the direction of their ongoing agendas that gives the Cabal greater control over humanity. Their objective arise from order out of chaos. It's order out of fear. If you turn on the news cycle today, it's getting worse every single day, but it is fear porn. This is coming out. You better get this. You better do this. You better not go there. They're at their root, they're narcissists. They have to control everything. That's one reason why we have all these trackers on our phones. They want to know what we're doing all the time. They got to know. They would just not know what to do with themselves if they can control us. So hopefully a lot of this is resonating, because if you look at it from this perspective, a lot of what I'm saying is true and scary. So they do something called backwards planning. What is the end state? What are they aiming for? Their trajectory of where they're wanting, what are they wanting to get at? Well, it's ultimately to disarm America. Right now, I saw a funny meme a while back. It was a pro Second Amendment meme saying about, because there's an argument, citizens couldn't take on the U.S. military, and they had a Viet Cong guerrilla rice paddy farmer with AK-47 and 2 magazines, and it says, "Why don't you tell that to this dude right here?" So as they achieve their goals, they do it with greater spiritual wickedness as time goes on. This goes back to 33 again. So 33 is the occult ascension. That's they have arrived, okay? This ascension spiritually. Hey, I'm all for spiritual, but the kind of spiritual they're talking about, I don't think I'm for. So, very interestingly, the word people and person in Gematria equals 33. This was something interesting, I thought. Let me see if it's yep. In the movie Batman Dark Knight Rises, the football stadium scene, before it explodes, guess what section the camera pans to? 322. That's interesting, huh? Skull and Bones. By the way, I just saw this new rocket going out. Guess how tall it was? It was 322 feet tall. I don't know who's piloting that thing. So the word false flag equals 33 in Gematria. So something else came out. This was for movie buffs, and it's one of my favorite movie producers, Stanley Kubrick. He 1968, 2001 Space Odyssey came out. It's a movie about artificial intelligence taking over humanity. There's a definition, it's called singularity. And that's when technology reaches a point and there's no going back. It advances past the point of humanity and it begins to control humanity. If anybody's seen the movie, at the very beginning, it shows primordial ooze phase of the Earth whenever we were, the bottom of the evolutionary chain, we were monkeys or whatever. Well, this huge monolith from, I don't know where it comes from outer space. It's a black monolith and it lands. and one of the brave monkeys touches it, and he gains knowledge, which ultimately, if you look at the Garden of Eden, that's what man was doing. This is a side note right here. This is what Gnosticism is. It is the perversion of Christianity. It flips Christianity upside down. It says that Lucifer wants to give us this knowledge. God's trying to keep it from us. That's why we couldn't eat from the tree of knowledge. So this big monolith lands, and this monkey is automatically overcame with knowledge, and he's able to like form a tribe and beat other monkey tribes or something. It's an alright movie. Anyways, but guess what's at the World Trade Center? If you could take a little Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Ray, and shrink it down, the Millennium Hotel. It's the exact same dimensions, except on a larger scale. So this monolith that gives knowledge, it's an occult, it's a occult symbol, is right there in view of the whole goings-ons of 9/11. Very interesting. So Kubrick died on March 7, 1999. That's the 66th day of the year. He died exactly 666 days before January 1st, 2001. What's the coincidence of that? By the way, guess how many books are in the Bible? 66. I'm seeing a lot of little patterns here. So, has anybody heard of the Trace Act? HR 6666. It's a U.S. surveillance system that was put in place during coronavirus. Microsoft patented on March the 6th, 2020, 060606 biometric currency. That is some kind of biometric data collector on your phone. That's an interesting number. Apple's first computer, 1976. You guess how much it was? $666.66. Guess what computer is in Gematria? 66. Guess what internet is? 66. Apple's got an interesting logo. It's a piece of the forbidden fruit with a bite taken out of it. Knowledge. Right? Or is it something else? I would agree. I would think it's the forbidden fruit of the tree of knowledge, you know. They say something else. If you look it up on Wikipedia, but I don't know about all that now. The Templars, this is just a little side note, interesting. Templars were recognized in 1118 AD. So we can, in Gematria, you can actually take that. So you have an 11, you have an 18. 3 times 6 is 18. So the way they do it and the way their rules are, they see something in that's hidden. That wasn't done by chance. That was done on purpose. So, what else happened on September 11th throughout history? Let's look. The Chile Marxist president was overthrown by Nixon in an admitted CIA coup with the help of Kissinger on September 11th, 1973, where British planes bombed the presidential palace. On 9/11/1990, George H.W. Bush, if anybody's from the 90s, they can remember these weird speeches, but he gave his first New World Order speech, where he broke that out. So that's exactly 11 years later is the World Trade Center. The next year, he gave another New World Order speech, September 11th, 1991. So, September 11th, 1994, a single-engine Cessna flew into the White House at 11 p.m. September 11th is the 254th day of the year. So 2 plus 5 plus 4 equals 11. Guess how many days are left? 111 days are left. There's 11 letters in New York City. New York is the 11th state of the Constitution. So 911. 9 plus 1 plus 1 is 11. They like this 11. So we're going to take a break right here for a second, and we're going to do station identification. And we will see you in a minute.